Whitt Piker.
What's up?
This is CheatMeal blog. Actually, I guess you would call it the vlog.
Vlog.
It's a video log. This is episode 1. So we're just going to be talking about some stuff that you might not get on the regular CheatMeal episode, and this is just kind of behind the scenes. We like to hang out, we like to play music, we like to eat.
And if you haven't met my partner, my director, my writer, my producer, my editor, what else? Everything.
Your right-hand man.
This is my man Jason Lowe. He's the man.
I'll try to be the man.
And he succeeds.
All right, man. You ready to get into this?
Yeah.
We have some questions for Whitt, and some of you have submitted questions, and we're just gonna kind of roll through these and ask the man himself. Can you tell us your reasons why? Why do you want to do CheatMeal? What is the motivation behind it?
Well, first of all, 2/3 of the American population is obese, and I was there. That was me. I always struggle with my weight, and you know those people that say they can eat whatever they want and never gain a pound. I hate those people, and I was never one of those people. I mean, I can look at a donut and gain a pound. So it's a struggle I always had, and one of my favorite sayings is, I don't know if it's my favorite saying, but it's one of the most true sayings is, once a fat kid, always a fat kid. So it's kind of in here, you know. And I feel like that maybe there's not a lot that I can offer, but I can help those that are going through that, because I've been through that. Working with a kid right now at the gym. I love this kid. He's 18 years old, and in the last 6 months he's lost 60 pounds.
Wow.
And it's just so great because and every Wednesday is his weigh-in day, and so he comes to the gym every Wednesday, and when he walks in the door, I can see it on his face. He's just got this smile on his face, and he tells me, I mean, he was up over 360, and he's at, actually, yeah, he's lost more than 60 pounds, because he was up over 360, and now he's at 286.
Wow.
So, and we set incremental goals. Like, we know what the ultimate goal is, but we set, I mean, getting to that 299, that was a major milestone. And so now he's at 286, and our next goal is 275, and he just can't even believe it. So that's something I can do, because I've been there. I've been through that. And honestly, and I've said, and this plays in the intro video, one of the things that helped get me through that journey of mine was knowing that I would get that cheat meal, you know, and I had it set on a set day every time. And say if on a Tuesday I was really craving something, I'm about to fall off the wagon, I would just tell myself, just wait till Sunday. Just wait till Sunday. You can eat it Sunday. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't even eat that on Sunday that I was craving, but it helped get me through.
Right.
So this is something that I can do. You know, I mean, I think we all feel like we want a sense of purpose in this world. And a lot of times we don't know what that is. But I feel like this could be my sense of purpose. I've always had this thought that everybody has one thing that they're made to do. One thing. And, you know, obviously Michael Jordan, he found his one thing. Obviously the best cello player in the world, they found their one thing. But what if we went through our whole life and never found our one thing? What if I was meant to be the greatest skateboarder of all time and I never picked up a skateboard?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this could be my one thing. And I know that sounds kind of cliche-ish or pie in the sky or whatever, but we all have something inside us that wants to help people. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing this for. And I love food.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love to eat. And, you know, and seriously, I can make it through the week and not fall off the wagon if I know that I can fall off the wagon one time. You know? Yeah. And as crazy as that sounds, it's and not even for the psychological aspects of it, but even for the physical aspects of it, a lot of times it'll reboost your metabolism. If you get in a plateau or you get stuck, that thing will just kind of set you over the edge to keep you going.
That's cool. One of the other questions was, you inspire a lot of people, and especially with your journey so far, like a lot of people that know you have known you for a long time, and a lot of us have known you when you were kind of chubby. So,
and you know what's funny is I still feel chubby all the time.
Well,
that's my psychological issues, I guess.
Yeah, I would assume, like, well, it's because you were young and you grew up that way,
right,
for a good portion of your life. So,
and you know what, people who have have dealt with that, and I talk to people all the time when I'm working with people that are losing weight and have lost weight and want to lose weight. It's more of a mental thing a lot of times than it is a physical thing. And a lot of times you have to deal with the mental aspect of it before you ever deal with the physical aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
can you talk a little bit about mindset and just kind of how that plays into it? Because like you said, everybody wants to change and they want to get better, but you got to change your mind first.
Well, this is going to be super quotable, and I believe this wholeheartedly. Two things. If you tell yourself something long enough, you start to believe it. We've all heard that. Tell yourself something long enough, you start to believe it. There's another aspect to that. If you tell yourself something long enough, you start to believe it, and then you start to become it. You become that thing that you tell yourself you are without even realizing it. So when I sit down to do an evaluation with somebody for personal training and to set them up, the last thing I say is, okay, we've gone through all the technical aspects of it, now we're going to make a deal. You're no longer allowed to say one more negative thing about yourself. And you know, I'm a firm believer in the power of positive thinking in all aspects of life. And I make them make a deal with me. We even do a pinky promise. You're no longer allowed to say anything negative about yourself. If you slip up and say something negative about yourself, you have to immediately say 2 things positive about yourself. Cancels out the negative thing and puts you in the positive. And I believe if you walk into the gym to work out from a positive standpoint as opposed to a negative standpoint, everything about your workout's even different. If you walk in there saying, oh, I got to do this because I'm fat, or oh, I got to do this because I'm out of shape, I believe your workout will be totally different as opposed to walking in there saying, I'm about to kick some tail right now.
Yeah.
I think every aspect of that, the positive starts it all. You have to have a positive outlook and a positive attitude to go through all of this. And that sounds so, we've heard people say that, and that sounds so cliche. But the reason we have cliches is because they're true. Yeah. So it's very true.
Our inspiration for some of this, The Rock,
absolutely
talks a lot about positivity.
And he has a weekly cheat meal. If you follow him on Instagram, and it's epic. His cheat meals are epic.
It's amazing. So one of these days, The Rock is actually going to be on CheatMeal. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. We haven't talked to him about it.
We're throwing that out there in the atmosphere.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. How did you lose the 100 pounds?
My philosophy is to keep it as simple as possible. If I went right now and I Googled the best way to lose weight, on Google, 10 search results pop up. And all 10 of them could be different. But all 10 of them worked for somebody. I think the number one thing is you have to find what works for you. If you create a calorie deficit, you'll lose weight. If you burn more calories than you take in, you'll lose weight. And that's how I did it all those years ago. But I didn't have the luxury of the internet back in those days, or apps and all that. So I just had to try to determine what that was myself. But if you burn more calories than you take in, you're going to lose weight. This is going to throw people for a loop here, but this is my philosophy. If I burn 500 calories, it doesn't matter if the 500 calories I burned came from pizza or if it came from broccoli. If I burn 500 calories, it's gone. Now, obviously, you're going to get way more for your 500 calories of broccoli than you would for your 500 calories of pizza. The first 30 days when I meet with someone, I tell them I recommend an app called MyFitnessPal. You need to look into that. If you go on MyFitnessPal and you put in what you weigh and what you want to weigh, it'll do the formula for you to tell you how many calories you can have a day and still lose weight. And all you have to do is worry about staying under that limit. So if it says you can have 1,750 calories a day, and you're at 1,500, and you know 2 Oreos has 150 calories, you can eat the 2 Oreos. You can't eat 10 Oreos, but you can eat the 2 Oreos. And so I try to make it as simple as possible in the beginnings. Now, once you get way into it, we're going to look at fat, carbs, we're going to look at sodium, we're going to look at all the macros, the protein and all that. But sometimes it's too daunting of a task for someone just getting started to say, listen, here's what you're doing. You're only having this, you're only having this. I'm not a believer in that you go home and you open the pantry and you throw away everything that tastes good. Because in theory, that sounds great. But in reality, nobody does that. And if you do that, you just have to go 2 weeks later and buy it all over again. So I think the key, and that's a problem with our society, because like I said earlier, 2/3 of America is overweight. We can't do things in moderation. And that's the key. So that was my philosophy 22 years ago. is to create a calorie deficit, because you know your body burns a certain number of calories every day just existing. I mean, you'll burn 400 to 500 calories just sleeping at night. So if you can find that number, then that's all you have to do is stay below those calories. I mean, you have to make smart choices, because if you only have 1,700 calories a day and you go to McDonald's and you order a #1 combo with a Coke, that's 1,100 calories right there. Well, you only got 600 more calories for the rest of your day, you know. But if it's your birthday and you're staying under your calories, then you can have a 200-calorie piece of birthday cake and still be under your calories.
Yeah. So that's how a cheat meal works.
That's
basically.
how a cheat meal works. And I'll tell you this. Here's the deal that I made with myself a long time ago. The only way I get my cheat meal is if I've stayed under my calories every day and I've done all my workouts, then I've earned it.
Right.
And it's kind of a point system. If I stay under all those days, then I get my cheat meal. If I didn't, then I don't get it. So that's another motivation for me to work towards that.
It's a reward.
It is a reward.
Favorite Friday night shot?
Fireball. Fireball Friday.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Who is your favorite celebrity and why?
Well, it's Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. What's funny is about a week ago, this is going to be funny, but this is real, I had a dream that I got 3 wishes. And here was my 3 wishes. You ready for this? Number 1 wish was unlimited amount of money. Obviously, that's everybody's. Number 2 is going to be funny. I wished that my dog Buzz would outlive me.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
This was my dream. I didn't, because, you know, we're really attached to this dog. So I wished he outlived me. And number 3, I wished I could be built exactly like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and never have to work out. That was my 3 wishes in my dream.
You and me both.
Right?
I think everybody probably wishes that.
That's right. But here's the thing about him, and this is why he is my goal, because, and if you follow him on social media, he's very interactive with his fans. There's several videos of him just driving down the road, and he'll roll down his window in his vehicle and just start talking to fans and stuff. But anybody who's ever worked out, this is your ultimate goal, is to be really big and super lean. It's like the unattainable unicorn out there. I mean, does it exist? To be really huge and still yet super lean. And he epitomizes that. He's magnetic. He's intriguing. Obviously, he's super smart to take what he's done. You know, of course, his family was in quote-unquote entertainment and wrestling, and he followed that, but he took that to the next level. With, I mean, he's probably one of the highest paid actors and one of the biggest draws in the box office there is.
We're going to try to hook up with The Rock at some point. He's going to be on Cheat Meal. 5 random facts about Whitt Piker.
5 random facts.
We know that you really love your dog.
I love my dog. I want him to outlive me. Now, that would only be bad if I only live like 2 more years.
Right.
What I'm saying is, he's only 3, and dogs only live to be like 15. So I want him to live till like he's 30, which would be like 210 years in dog years. But another random fact, and a lot of people may know this, I'm a PK. And if you're not a PK, you may not know what PK means, but that means preacher's kid. And I also married a PK, so believe every rumor you've ever heard about PKs.
They're all true.
They're all true.
I'm a PK too.
That's right. Another random fact is I once, in a high school baseball game my senior year, hit 3 home runs in 1 game.
Nice. Mark
And I'm
McGuire.
going to, that was right outside of Jonesboro, Arkansas, and it was on the front page of the sports page. It says Piker. I had 9 RBIs in that game. Piker's 9 RBIs.
Wow.
Leads the Bearcats to the victory. And I had that clipping, and I lost it. So when I go to Jonesboro next week to do some training, I'm going to go to the public library where they keep all the newspapers and get
on microfilm.
That's right. That's right.
For those of you who don't know what microfilm is.
That's right. Which is probably most everybody.
Yeah, I barely know what it is.
I hope I don't have to look through the Dewey Decimal System to get
no kidding.
Another random fact is my 2 best friends, we have been friends since I was 12 years old. So that's 33 years.
And you're still friends with them?
We're still my best friends ever.
Nice.
We went to college together. We have one of those incredibly annoying but yet totally rewarding group text. I've never been held hostage in my life, but I have been a member of a group text.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's another random fact?
Most people don't know that you sing really well.
I wouldn't say really well.
Well,
but,
I would. I think you sing well.
Compared to my wife, no offense, babe, but compared to my wife, it's really well. My problem is another. I don't mean to keep talking about being a PK, but my dad always made me sing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it got a little bit annoying.
And we sit second row piano side.
That's right, all the time. And I play a few instruments, but not well. But the reason I don't play them well is because I didn't pick one and stick with it. Because when I was growing up, whoever wasn't there, that's what I had to play growing up. So
that's how I learned to play bass. My mom actually played bass most of the time when she wasn't on piano.
It's odd that you say that because my mother-in-law was just talking about that today, about how good of a bass player your mother was.
Really?
Yeah.
She was a good bass player.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny looking back on that too.
Well, I told her that you were coming over, and she goes, I just remember how good his mother played the bass. So that's a pretty random fact.
Oh, that's
right
hilarious.
There.
Wow.
Oh, another random fact is let's see, my grandmother was full-blood Cherokee Indian, so what would that make me, a fourth? I mean, it's not exact, but...
I have no idea. You should take a test for that.
23andMe.
Give us one more random fact.
One more random fact. My wife and I, on our honeymoon, we went to Cancun, Mexico, and we have gone back every year that we've been married.
Nice.
To the same place. I even got the coordinates for the place where we go. We went on our honeymoon, and we go back to here. Tattooed here.
What did your mom say the first tattoo you got?
She told me she was going to write me out of the will.
Wow.
She does not like them.
That's better than what my mom said.
But I will tell you this. It all changed. I don't know if you can see this, but I got her signature. It says, I love you, Mom, tattooed right there. And her tune started to change a little bit when she saw that. I have 12 now. 12 tattoos.
Golly. What did you get on your butt?
I love Jason.
That's what I thought. Okay, we're going to be right back with some, we're going to do some exercise tips.
Okay.
You got some cool tips to share?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to a quick commercial break. Oh, yeah. Lifting weights outside. Everybody can see it.
What I'm going to talk about most of the time is not for the seasoned weightlifter, because let's face it, the majority of people, they're not knowledgeable and they're not experienced in all this. I always ask everybody when I'm doing my evaluation before we start a program for them, if you had to rate your weight training knowledge and experience 1 to 5, with 1 being not very knowledgeable and experience and 5 being very knowledgeable and experience, where would you rate yourself? Because the truth is, if they're coming to see me, they're not going to be a 5, right? I mean, if they're coming to see me, they're probably going to be a 1 or 2, which is the way I like it. And most people out there in the world, they're not going to be the most knowledgeable and experienced. So a lot of the tips that I'm going to give are just the basic stuff. If you're a seasoned weightlifter and you're a bodybuilder and you're watching this, you're going to think, of course, everybody knows that. You know what? Everybody don't know that. Right. So the funny thing is the importance of form. I see a lot of guys come in. It seems like that younger college guys are the worst when it comes to this, because they worry about the amount of weight they lift. I told somebody today, I don't want to be able to bench press 400. I just want to look like I can if I need to. Yeah. And the way that you do that is proper form and technique. Never sacrifice your form and technique to try to lift more weight. You know, I see guys come in and they want to do curls and they'll be lifting really heavy, but they lift their whole back up and they lean back into it. Whereas you're going to get way more definition and tone is if you just isolate that muscle. And when I'm doing a workout, what I always try to think about is, and say if I'm doing a bicep workout, I want to do something that works the upper head, the lower head, and the middle. I want to hit every part of that muscle. When I'm working the back, I want to hit every muscle in the back. So when I'm working the chest, the way I design my workouts, even for myself and for other people, is I want to do something that's going to get the inner, the outer, the upper, and the lower, every part of the pec muscle. So when you're doing those workouts, number one, never sacrifice your form. Always remember the importance of a good form. It's not important to lift more weight if you sacrifice your form. That's number one. Number two, when you go to do that workout, try to do something that's going to work every part of that muscle. You know, the thing about working these muscles is you want to make sure, like I said earlier, you isolate the muscles. So when you're doing a bicep curl, you're going to want to keep that elbow in close, tight to you, and you just work that entire muscle. And you know what's crazy is the way that you change the position of your hand can work a different part of the muscle. You know, we're taught all of our lives to not be selfish. But if there's one place in the entire world that you can be selfish and it's all about you, it's at the gym. You give everybody else 23 hours a day, give yourself 1 hour a day to be selfish. And I even hear moms say, well, I don't really want to spend that time away from my kids, and, which is understandable. But what you're doing is you're actually adding more time that you're going to have with your kids. Actually, you're going to add more time that you're going to have with your grandkids, and I think you're going to like them way more than you like your kids anyway. So it's and a lot of what we do at the gym, in our mind we think it's for aesthetics and cosmetics and to look better, but really it's for a better quality of life. I meet with people, you know, the majority of people I meet with, I don't know if it's because of my age, but the majority of people that I meet with are an older clientele, and that's kind of the demographic of our gym. It's an older clientele that are looking for that better quality of life. You know, when you climb to the top of one flight of stairs, you're already out of breath. That's when they come see me and say, you know what, my balance is not great anymore. I don't train people that are trying to get ready for competitions or trying to be bodybuilders. I train people that want to have a better quality of life. Now, I have trained people that are working towards a goal like that, but let's talk about the real, normal, everyday, average people that really walk into our gyms every day and won't be intimidated to walk into our gyms. We want to make that place for them where they can come in and not be intimidated, where they because you know what, I wanted to play with my grandkids out in the yard, but I was out of breath and I couldn't make it. So we can help them do that. I'm so glad that you decided to stop by and check us out. I've said all the time, this is not just a career for me, this is a calling. This is what I do to help people and make life better. So make sure that you go to YouTube and check us out. We got not only these vlogs on there, but we're gonna have our TV show on there, and we've got some great, exciting things coming for that. We've already got places booked, ready to go. We're shooting our very first show tomorrow, and we're so excited about it. Check us out on Instagram and on Facebook, and we're gonna have all those things available to you with tips and tricks and our weekly show and all sorts of vlogs and all sorts of fun stuff. I'm Whitt Piker, and thanks for watching Cheat Meal.
Lean on me.
That's some that's 90s grunge.
That's some Creed right there.
Can you take me high?
Can you take me higher?